Remember the Gamecube? Of course you do, who doesn't? This lovable lunchbox of a console brought us killer games from all genres, but we don't really think about fighting games when we think of the Gamecube, do we? The system has classics like Capcom vs SNK 2 and Soul Calibur 2 on it, but if you were a fighting game fan back in the 2000s, I think the PS2 would have been a better choice to go with. Speaking of the PS2 and Gamecube, Japan gave us one of the weirdest games on the system in my opinion. Developed by the now defunct Bitstep and only released in Japan in late 2003, Dream Mix TV World Fighters is a platform fighter featuring characters from, and get ready for this, Metal Gear Solid, Castlevania, Bomberman, Transformers, and more. Seriously, this is a real game that you can actually play now. Upon learning about this game, I knew that I had to cover it due to how insane it sounds. Due to how obscure this game is, there isn't that much information about it unfortunately, and I wasn't able to find any extensive coverage of the game's development or developer interviews, so bear with me, because I did what I could. After heading to my favourite video game store, I downloaded the game and fired it up. Without further ado, let's jump into the madness that is Dream Mix TV World Fighters. With all this franchise representation, there better be a good reason for it, right? Well, we're in luck, because this game does have a story mode, kind of. World Fighters is the arcade mode of the game, and the story is told through occasional cutscenes. The plot concerns the World Fighters television program, which has been suffering from very low ratings as of late. Due to this, it's on the verge of being cancelled by the Dream Mix TV network. To prevent the show's failure, hosts Mujo and Haruna invite characters from different realities to compete on the show in order to increase the ratings. Okay look, it's not exactly Shakespeare, but I do like the premise for its goofy charm and lighthearted tone. It certainly has more story than something like the older Smash Bros. Games, which I do enjoy. What I also find interesting is that Mujo is actually a returning villain from the Bomberman series of games, and he's also the final boss of the story mode. The game is comprised of characters from 3 companies, Hudson Soft, Konami, and Takara. I assume we all know about Konami, so I don't need to get into who they are, but Hudson Soft is the studio who made every Mario Party from the first game all the way to DS, and Takara is a now defunct toy company that was founded in 1955. One of their most famous dolls in Japan was called Laika-chan, I think I pronounced that wrong, I apologize, this cute looking Japanese version of a Barbie doll, and she actually makes an appearance in the game as a playable character. Other characters include, and I can't believe I'm saying this, Solid Snake, Simon Belmont, a Moai head from Gradius, Tyson Granger, who is the original protagonist of Beyblade, and get this, Megatron and Optimus Prime. I told you this game was nuts. For an old game, characters, at least the ones that I recognize, all look pretty faithful to their source material. I'm especially happy with Solid Snake, as although he doesn't look exactly like his Metal Gear Solid 2 counterpart, he still looks really cool in this game, especially when standing next to Optimus Prime. I'm also happy to say that the game is really fun. It may seem a lot like Smash Bros, and hell, it even may seem like a copy at first glance, but there are many major differences between the two games. In Smash Bros, you obviously want to knock the enemy off the stage to take away a stock, but in Dream Mix, you want to beat them up and collect these coins scattered around to put you towards the right of the bar, away from the left portion. When someone gets put into the left portion, their soul leaves their body, and if another player comes along and snatches it before they can get it again, they're eliminated from the match. The game ends when someone has collected the souls of every other player. Having a platform fighter based around a meter elimination system reminds me a lot of PlayStation All-Stars, but I do think that overall this is the better game. As for the controls, you have a regular attack button which you can press multiple times to do a combo, a grab button, a special button, and a block button. You hit the enemy a bunch of times to put the icon into the left portion, but you can also collect the aforementioned coins to do this too, albeit to a lesser extent. Remember that weird coin smash mode you tried out once in Melee on August 23rd, 2007 and then never touched again? Dream Mix is like a combination of the regular smash mode and the coin mode, and it's pretty enjoyable. However, the characters don't feel extremely responsive, as there is a bit of noticeable input delay, but they feel good enough, so when I want to bust out Optimus Prime's double leg dropkick to beat up Bomberman, I can do exactly that. The characters all feel similar in movement, but their special moves are what set them apart. They only have 1 or 2 special moves, so there isn't a mind-boggling amount of competitive depth here, but I wasn't looking for that anyway, so I don't mind. When I was playing through the story mode, I came to the conclusion that doing combos and grabs were more than enough for me to win a match. You don't have to do that many specials to win if you can do a few combos and get a few grabs here and there. Honestly, there's not a whole lot to go over here since there isn't too much to do with the gameplay, but for what it's worth, I still think the game will provide lots of fun, even if it is extremely simple. If you ever have a problem with me for whatever reason, run the set and see if you can take out my boy Optimus Prime with this stupid truck move that I swear is broken. Overall, this game is completely nuts, and while this isn't exactly the longest video on YouTube, I still wanted to show the game some love by covering it. If you can be bothered, try it out on Dolphin Emulator and see if you like it. If you have some attachment to the series that are featured in this game, you may get a kick out of it like how I did. Thanks a lot for watching, I hope you learned something about the game, and I'll see you in the next one.